Every marriage begins with hope. Two people, one promise, a vision of life shared together. At first, the bond feels unshakable. Passion covers flaws. Dreams hide cracks. Love seems enough. Yet many marriages break. Not always because of cruelty. Not always because of fate. Often, it is desire, quiet, forbidden, and unchecked. Desire is not always about lust. It can be hunger for power, for attention, for wealth, for escape. It lives in the shadows of the mind, whispering that what we have is never enough. The Stoics warned us about this. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Marriage suffers not when love is absent, but when desire demands more than love can give. Imagine a partner who cannot stop seeking control, or one who craves excitement beyond the ordinary, another who needs constant approval, or one consumed by ambition, another longing to run from responsibility. Each desire begins small, almost invisible, but left unchecked, it grows. It poisons trust. It weakens the bond. It turns partners into strangers. The truth is simple. No marriage collapses in a single moment. It erodes through choices, through unchecked impulses, through desires allowed to rule instead of reason. This is why the Stoics urged discipline, not to kill desire, but to master it, to place reason above craving, to protect what matters from what tempts. In this journey, we will uncover 5 forbidden desires, desires that do not simply test a marriage. They can ruin it, unless they are seen, named, and transformed. Because in the end, a marriage does not die from lack of passion. It dies when desire becomes greater than commitment. The lesson is clear. To protect love, we must master ourselves. Desire is a restless force. It never sleeps. It never says enough. Left unchecked, desire becomes a fire. Not a steady flame, but a hunger that consumes what it touches. It is not content with what is. It always whispers for more. Seneca captured this truth. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. Wealth is not about possession. It is about measure. It is about knowing where sufficiency lies. Desire, when ungoverned, blinds us to sufficiency. It tricks us into seeing lack where there is abundance. It poisons contentment. It replaces gratitude with hunger. In marriage, this poison spreads quickly. 2 people come together to build trust. Trust is built on presence, on reliability, on the willingness to accept each other as enough. But hidden desires break that ground. The desire for more control, more novelty, more recognition, more wealth, more escape. The paradox is clear. The more hidden desires, the less visible trust. Each secret longing creates a small fracture. Each fracture weakens the bond, until one day the marriage is not a shelter, but a battlefield. It is not always the dramatic betrayals that end marriages. More often, it is the slow erosion. Desire by desire, choice by choice. A glance, a silence, an absence. Small moments, compounded, until trust has no strength left. The Stoics saw desire as dangerous not because pleasure is evil, but because desire has no natural limit. Food satisfies hunger. Water quenches thirst. But desire? Desire expands as soon as it is fed. This is why unchecked desire ruins not only marriages, but lives. It steals peace. It corrupts gratitude. It convinces us that happiness lies just beyond reach, always in the next thing, the next thrill, the next person. Marriage cannot survive in such a storm. It is not built to compete with endless appetite. It is built on discipline, on choosing sufficiency over craving, on saying, "This is enough, I will honor it." The truth is simple, though hard to accept. Marriages rarely fail for lack of love. They fail for excess of desire. Desire that was not seen, not named, not mastered. Love can endure hardship. It can survive loss, even conflict. But it cannot survive when one or both hearts remain enslaved to hunger, for desire will always demand more than love can give. This is the nature of desire: restless, insatiable, unbound. To master it is difficult. To ignore it is fatal. That is why the Stoics taught us happiness, peace, fidelity. They are not destroyed by outer events, but by inner craving. The choice is ours. Either desire rules the marriage, or discipline protects it. The 5 forbidden desires. We now turn to the 5 forbidden desires. Desires that, left unchecked, slowly ruin a marriage. Each begins quietly. Each feels harmless. But each has the power to erode trust and destroy love. 1. The desire for control. Control is tempting. To believe that love means ownership. To think, if you are mine, then I decide who you see, what you do, how you live. But marriage is not possession. It is partnership. When one partner seeks to control the other, resentment grows. The controlled partner feels smaller, weaker, silenced. The controlling partner feels restless, never satisfied, always suspicious. What should be a bond of trust becomes a chain of fear. The Stoics teach, we cannot own another person. We cannot control their choices, their thoughts, their heart. We can only govern ourselves. To forget this is to suffocate the very thing we wish to protect. True love gives freedom. It does not imprison. To demand control is to destroy the space where love breathes. 2. The desire for novelty. Another forbidden desire is the hunger for novelty, the craving for something new, exciting, different. At first, it may seem innocent: new experiences, new adventures. But when novelty becomes an idol, marriage begins to crumble. Seneca warned us, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." The one who chases novelty ends up belonging nowhere. In marriage, this means being physically present but emotionally absent. Always searching for the next thrill, never satisfied with what is at hand. The danger is subtle. It starts with distraction. A glance outside the marriage. A secret thought. What if there is more? Soon, the search for excitement becomes stronger than the commitment to stability. The irony is this: novelty fades as quickly as it arrives. What once felt thrilling soon feels ordinary. And so the cycle repeats, leaving behind broken trust, broken promises, broken hearts. The Stoic path is different. It is not the endless chase for more, but the discipline of seeing enough in what is here. Novelty can never replace depth, and depth is where true intimacy lives. 3. The desire for approval. The third forbidden desire is the hunger for approval. When a partner seeks constant validation, not from their spouse, but from the world, from colleagues, from strangers, from the faceless crowd, this desire shifts the foundation of marriage. Instead of two people grounding each other, one partner keeps looking outward. Their worth depends not on who they are, but on who applauds them. The Stoics remind us, inner worth does not come from the crowd. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish." If we live for approval, we will forever be enslaved. And no marriage can stand when one partner is chained to the opinions of others. Approval is fleeting. One day given, the next day withheld. To chase it is to live in instability. To anchor a marriage to it is to guarantee collapse. The only approval that matters is the one we give ourselves through virtue, through integrity, through living rightly, regardless of the crowd. A marriage grows strong when both partners know their worth within themselves, not when one is constantly seeking applause from the outside. 4. The desire for wealth and status. The fourth forbidden desire is the hunger for wealth and status. Ambition can be noble. To work, to achieve, to provide, these are not wrong. But when ambition swallows commitment, marriage suffers. The partner obsessed with wealth rarely sees the cost. Long hours, absent presence, promises delayed. Soon, the pursuit of status replaces the presence of love. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. True wealth is not what fills the bank account, but what fills the heart with contentment. A marriage cannot compete with endless ambition, because ambition, like desire, has no finish line. There will always be another dollar, another title, another recognition. In chasing these, one risks losing what cannot be replaced: a partner's trust, a child's memory, the daily bond of presence. Wealth and status may impress the world, but they cannot repair a marriage starved of attention and care. What matters most is not how high you rise, but how deeply you remain rooted in those who stand with you. 5. The desire for escape. The final forbidden desire is the longing to escape, to run from difficulty instead of facing it, to leave when the marriage becomes heavy, to believe the lie, somewhere else, with someone else, it will be easier. This desire may start as a thought, then it becomes avoidance, silence at the table, absence in the heart, until one day the partner is there in body but gone in spirit. The Stoics remind us, strength is not found in escape, it is found in endurance, in standing firm within hardship, in facing discomfort with courage instead of fleeing from it. A marriage, like life, is not free from trials. It demands resilience. To escape is easy. To remain and endure is the true test of character. Love matures not by running from storms, but by standing within them hand in hand, with dignity. These are the 5 forbidden desires: control, novelty, approval, wealth and status, escape. Each one, if left to grow, can hollow out the core of a marriage. Each one replaces trust with suspicion. Each one feeds self above union. The Stoics call us to see these desires clearly, not to deny their existence, but to master them, because a marriage does not fall when desire knocks at the door. It falls when desire takes the throne, turning desire into discipline. The Stoics never taught us to kill desire. They taught us to transform it. Desire itself is not the enemy. It becomes the enemy only when it rules. Reason must rule. Discipline must guide. This is the framework, not suppression, but transformation. First, journaling. When desire rises, write it down. Do not hide it. Do not deny it. Name it. On the page, desire becomes visible. It loses its shadow power. When we see it in words, we recognize, this is not me. This is a thought, a pull, a passing urge. Journaling creates distance. It allows reason to step in. It turns emotion into observation, and observation is the first step toward mastery. Second, memento mori, the reminder of mortality. The Stoics practiced it daily, not to be morbid, but to be clear. Life is short. Time is limited. Every moment wasted on empty craving is a moment stolen from meaning. When we remember death, desires shrink. What once felt urgent now feels small. The hunger for wealth, novelty, approval, they lose their grip when measured against the brevity of life. Memento mori disciplines desire by reminding us only virtue endures. Only love dignity, and presence will matter when the end arrives. Third, voluntary discomfort. The Stoics trained themselves through chosen hardship. They would walk without shoes, sleep on the floor, fast for a day. Why? To prove to themselves that they could live without indulgence. We can do the same. Step into discomfort. Choose the harder road sometimes. Say no to the easy pleasure. Say yes to the discipline that weakens desire's hold. When we practice this, we realize comfort is not necessary. Excess is not necessary. Desire cannot control the one who has trained to endure without it. This is the Stoic framework. Not to extinguish desire, but to tame it. To keep it in its rightful place. Because a marriage does not need perfection. It needs discipline. Not discipline of the body alone, but of the soul. Two people choosing to master themselves so that love has room to breathe. Passion may ignite a marriage, but only discipline sustains it. Only discipline protects it against the storm of desire. In the end, a lasting marriage is not built on fleeting emotion. It is built on two wills, trained and steady. Not slaves to craving, but servants of reason. Not ruled by hunger, but guided by dignity. From desire to dignity. Every marriage faces temptation. No one is immune. Not you, not me, not anyone. Desire will always appear. It may whisper for control. It may long for novelty. It may beg for approval, for wealth, for escape. The question is not whether desire comes. The question is what we do when it arrives. Some marriages collapse under the weight. Others grow stronger through resistance. What makes the difference is not passion. It is discipline. The ability to see desire for what it is, a passing urge, not a command. The Stoics remind us, life is not about erasing difficulty. It is about mastering response. The same is true in marriage. Love does not survive because temptation never knocks. Love survives because discipline guards the door. So remember this. The forbidden desires you fight today may be the very chains you break for your freedom tomorrow. A strong marriage is not one without desire. It is one where two people learn to place reason above craving, where dignity stands taller than hunger, where discipline protects what passion alone cannot. Let this be the final word. Desire does not own me. Discipline does. And in discipline, love survives.